Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Talk with Hana. I'm so happy you're here with us today. Whether you're listening on your way to work, during lunch, or just relaxing at home, we are really glad you joined us.
Hey, great to be back. And honestly, I feel like today's topic is one of those things that a lot of English learners need to hear. Like it's something I wish someone had told me a long time ago.
Yes, and I want to say right away, we're not here to make anyone feel bad today. We know how hard it is to study a language. It takes a lot of time, a lot of energy, and a lot of courage.
Exactly. So today we're going to talk about something really important. Why practicing English alone might not be enough, and more importantly, what you can do about it.
Right. And by the end of this episode, you're going to understand exactly what solo practice is good for, where it falls short, and what you can add to your routine to start speaking English like a real conversation, not just like a textbook.
We also have a question for you right now before we even get started. We want you to tell us in the comments, how do you practice English right now? Do you study alone? Do you use apps? Do you practice with friends? Let us know. We read every single comment.
Yes, we really do. And if you're new here, welcome to Talk with Hana. Make sure you subscribe to Simple English Talks so you never miss a new episode. We post every week and we want you with us for every single one.
All right, let's get into it, because this is a topic that can honestly change the way you learn English, and we're really excited to share it with you.
Okay, so first things first. We are not here to tell you that practicing alone is a waste of time. It's not. Solo practice, studying by yourself, is actually a really important part of learning English, and we want to make sure that's clear.
Totally. Think about it this way. When you're alone, you can go at your own pace. Nobody's rushing you. Nobody's judging you. You can stop, rewind, repeat something 10 times if you need to. That kind of control is really powerful, especially at the beginning.
And one of the biggest things solo practice gives you is vocabulary. When you study alone, whether you're reading, using flashcard apps, or watching videos like this one, you're building your word bank, and you need that. You can't have a conversation if you don't know any words, right?
Right. Imagine trying to talk to someone and you just don't have the words. That's really frustrating. So solo study helps with that. It also helps with grammar, understanding how sentences are built, like subject plus verb plus object. She eats breakfast. He goes to work. I love English. Those basic patterns, you can learn them alone.
And there's something else solo practice is really good for, building confidence. When you study alone, you can try things without feeling embarrassed. You can say a word out loud 100 times until it feels comfortable. You can write sentences and check them without anyone watching. That's really valuable.
So let me give you a quick picture of what good solo practice looks like. You watch an English video, maybe this one, and you write down 10 new words. Then you make sentences with those words. Then you say them out loud. That's real learning happening right there.
Another thing you can do alone is shadow, which means you listen to a native speaker and repeat exactly what they say, trying to copy their pronunciation, their rhythm, their speed. You can do this by yourself anytime. It's a great habit.
So we want to ask you, have you tried shadowing before? Write it in the comments. Tell us yes or no. It really helps us understand what you've tried and what you'd like to learn more about.
But here's the thing. Solo practice has limits, and that's what we need to talk about today. Because a lot of learners, and I mean a lot, spend months and months studying alone, and then one day they try to have a real conversation, and it doesn't go the way they expected.
And that's not a failure. That's not a sign that you're bad at English. It's just a sign that solo practice alone isn't enough. There are some things you simply cannot learn by yourself, and we're going to talk about all of them right now.
All right, so let's get into the real heart of today's topic. What are the things that solo practice just can't give you, and why does that matter so much?
The first big one, and this is huge, is real conversation pressure. When you're alone, everything is calm. You choose when to speak. You choose what to say. You can pause, you can think. But in a real conversation, someone asks you a question and you have to answer right now in English, and your brain just freezes.
Oh, I know that feeling so well. Someone asks me something simple, like, "What did you do this weekend?" And even though I know all the words, my brain just goes blank. That silence feels so long and so uncomfortable.
Yes, and that's because real conversation has pressure. There's another person waiting. There's a social situation happening. Your brain isn't just doing language anymore. It's also managing nerves, social signals, facial expressions. That's a lot, and you can't practice that alone.
The second big gap is pronunciation correction. You can repeat words alone all day, but if you're pronouncing something wrong, nobody's going to tell you, and you'll just keep practicing the wrong pronunciation. You'll become really confident at saying it wrong.
And that actually makes it harder to fix later because the wrong version feels right to you. You've practiced it so many times. So having someone, a native speaker, a teacher, a language partner who can hear you and say, hey, that's actually pronounced like this, that's really important.
The third thing that solo practice can't give you is spontaneous thinking. In real conversation, you don't get to prepare. Someone tells you something funny, something surprising, something sad, and you have to respond immediately, naturally. That skill of thinking in English while speaking only comes from real practice with real people.
And the fourth gap is something I think we don't talk about enough: natural interaction, the rhythm of conversation, knowing when to speak, when to listen, when to laugh, when to ask a follow-up question. Those things are invisible when you study alone, but in real life, they're everything.
So here's what I want you to think about. Write this in the comments if you've experienced this. Have you ever felt ready to speak English, but then in a real situation, something felt off? Like your English was fine, but the conversation wasn't quite natural. That's exactly what we're talking about.
And again, this is not your fault. It just means you need to add something to your practice. You've been building the vocabulary and the grammar, which is amazing. Now it's time to take it into the real world, and we're going to show you exactly how to do that in the next section.
Before we move on, let's do a quick check. The 4 things solo practice can't give you: conversation pressure, pronunciation correction, spontaneous thinking, and natural interaction. Say them out loud right now. Seriously, say them out loud. That's how you remember.
Great job. Okay, let's talk about the solutions because that's the really exciting part.
All right, so now we know what's missing. The question is, what do you actually do about it? And the good news is, there are a lot of really practical options. You don't have to go find a perfect English-speaking friend. There are so many ways to practice real communication.
The first one, and honestly one of the best, is finding a speaking partner. This is someone else who wants to practice English just like you. Maybe they speak your language and want to practice English. Maybe they speak English and want to practice your language. You help each other.
Apps like Tandem, HelloTalk, and Speaky are great for finding partners. You can message each other, send voice notes, and even do video calls. And because you're both learning, there's no pressure. You both make mistakes, you both laugh, you both improve.
The second option is shadowing, and we mentioned this earlier. You can do it alone, yes, but you can also record yourself doing it and share it with someone for feedback. Or you can join a group shadowing challenge online. That way you're still getting a community element.
Third, and this is something that's become really popular lately, AI conversation practice. There are now apps and tools where you can have an actual conversation with an AI in English. It corrects you, it responds naturally, it gives you feedback. It's not the same as a real human, but it's way better than silence.
Fourth is working with a tutor. Even just one session a week with an English tutor can make a huge difference. They can correct your pronunciation, explain why something sounds unnatural, and give you real feedback that no app or video can give you. Websites like italki and Preply make it really affordable.
And the fifth option, and this one's close to my heart, is community speaking practice. That means joining an English speaking club, a group call, a challenge, or an online community. When you're surrounded by people who are all working toward the same goal, it's so much easier to keep going.
You know what's great about communities? You get used to different voices, different accents, different speeding speeds, and that's exactly what real life is like. In real life, people don't all sound the same.
So here's your challenge. I want you to pick one of these options: speaking partner, shadowing with feedback, AI conversation, tutor, or community, and write in the comments which one you want to try. Just one, just start with one.
First, pick one. Second, try it this week, even for 10 minutes. Third, come back and tell us how it went. We are cheering for you, seriously. You can do this.
Remember, the goal isn't to speak perfect English. The goal is to speak English with real people in real situations, and every time you do that, you get better.
Okay, let's look at some common mistakes people make when they try to make this switch from solo to social practice, because there are a few traps you'll want to avoid.
Okay, so this is one of my favorite parts of every episode because honestly, mistakes are how we learn. And I know both of us have made every single one of these mistakes ourselves. So no judgment here, just recognition.
Absolutely.
All right, mistake number one, waiting until your English is perfect before practicing with people. This is so common. Learners say, I'll start talking to people when I'm better. But here's the thing, you get better by talking to people. You can't wait for readiness that only comes through doing.
Think of it like swimming. You can read about swimming, you can watch videos about swimming, you can practice the arm movements on dry land, but you don't actually learn to swim until you get in the water. English conversation is the water. You have to get in.
Mistake number two, only speaking with people at the exact same level as you. Now, speaking with fellow learners is great, we said that, but if you only speak with learners who make the same mistakes you do, nobody's correcting anything. You need some exposure to stronger speakers too, even if it's just a little.
And here's why this matters. When you only hear learner English, you normalize learner mistakes. You start to think certain patterns are correct when they're not. For example, you might hear someone say, I am boring when they mean I am bored. If you hear that enough without correction, you start saying it too.
Speaking of which, that's mistake number three, mixing up I am boring and I am bored. These mean two completely different things. I am bored means you feel bored right now. I am boring means other people find you boring as a person. Very different. If you say I am boring when you mean I feel bored, people might laugh, and not in a good way.
The correct version is always I am bored when you're talking about your feeling, not I am boring, okay? Write that in the comments. I am bored, not boring, just to make sure it sticks.
Mistake number four, giving up after one bad conversation.
This one is so painful. You try speaking English with someone, it goes a little badly, and you think, see, I knew I couldn't do it. I'm just not good at speaking English.
But that's not true. One bad conversation is just one data point. It means you tried something hard and it didn't go perfectly. That happens to everyone. Even native speakers have awkward conversations sometimes.
The key is to keep going. Every conversation, even the bad ones, teaches you something. Maybe you learned a word you didn't know. Maybe you found out there's a phrase you need to practice more. Use the hard moments as information, not as evidence that you should stop.
You're going to make mistakes. We make mistakes. Everyone does. The learners who improve the fastest are not the ones who make the fewest mistakes. They're the ones who make the most and keep going anyway.
Well said. Okay, let's do some practice together right now.
All right, it's practice time. This is the part where you actually have to do something, not just listen. So get ready. We're going to do a choose the best option activity. I'll give you a situation and you decide what the best thing to do is.
And say your answer out loud. Seriously, don't just think it in your head. Say it. That's the whole point of this section.
Situation one, you want to improve your speaking. Option A, you study vocabulary alone for 2 hours every day. Option B, you study vocabulary for 1 hour and then spend 30 minutes talking with a speaking partner. Which is better?
Option B, right? Because you're combining solo study with real conversation practice. You're getting vocabulary and real interaction. That's the balance we're talking about today.
Situation 2, you try speaking English with someone and you make some mistakes. Option A, you stop trying and go back to only studying alone. Option B, you keep going, accept the mistakes, and learn from them. Which one?
Option B, always. Mistakes during conversation means you're actually using English in real conditions. That's where growth happens.
Situation 3, you find a speaking partner but they speak English at a higher level than you. Option A, you feel embarrassed and stop talking to them. Option B, you stay in the conversation, try your best, and ask them to correct you gently. Which one?
Option B,
A more advanced partner can actually help you so much. They can model natural English, catch your mistakes, and show you expressions you haven't learned yet. Don't run away. Use that opportunity.
Situation 4. You want to practice every day, but you can't find a speaking partner available at your time. Option A, you skip practice that day. Option B, you use an AI conversation tool or a shadowing exercise with recording. Which one?
Option B, there's always something you can do. If a partner isn't available, use the other tools we mentioned. AI conversation, shadowing, recording yourself. No excuses, just options.
Great job, everyone. Now here's your challenge. Can you create your own choose the best option situation? Write it in the comments. It can be about anything: studying, speaking, listening, anything. We would love to read your ideas.
And remember, the goal of practice isn't to be perfect. The goal is to keep showing up. Every time you choose to practice real English, even imperfectly, you are doing something incredible. Real conversations over perfect sentences always.
Wow, what an episode. I honestly feel like we covered so much today, and I hope you're leaving this episode with a new way of thinking about your English practice. Not how do I study more, but how do I practice more?
Let's do a quick recap of the big things we talked about today. Number 1, solo practice is valuable. It builds vocabulary, grammar, confidence, and habits. Don't stop doing it. Just don't make it your only tool.
Number 2, solo practice has real gaps. It can't give you conversation pressure, pronunciation correction, spontaneous thinking, or natural interaction. Those things only come from real communication with real people.
And number 3, the solutions are out there and they're very accessible. Speaking partners, shadowing with feedback, AI conversation tools, tutors, and communities. You have options, you just have to start.
And here's something I really want you to sit with for a moment. Think about how long you've been studying English. You've put in so much time, so much effort. You deserve to see the results of that effort in real conversations. And the only way to do that is to take your English out of the study room and into the world.
Here's a reflective question for you to think about, or write in the comments if you'd like to share. What is one thing that has held you back from practicing English with other people? Is it fear, time, not knowing where to find partners? We genuinely love to know.
Because when we know what you're struggling with, we can make better episodes for you. And that's exactly why we do this, for you. So comment, share, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to Simple English Talks. Hit that like button too. It honestly helps us more than you know.
And share this episode with a friend who's learning English, because the best thing you can do for your English journey is find someone to walk it with you. You don't have to do this alone, and after today, you know exactly why.
We believe in you. Every single one of you listening right now, you are more capable than you think. English is just a skill, and like any skill, it grows with practice. Real practice with real people.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us today. You are the reason we make these episodes, and we are so grateful for you. Keep going, keep speaking, and we'll be right here with you every step of the way. See you next time.